Hi there, you're in the lab with your mate JJ. Today is electronics project. We're going to be doing a little electronics investigation, let's call it. Silly job title for today is Electron Ambassador. Today I'm the Electron Ambassador. Yesterday we did Space Drop. It was a handheld computer game. This is it here. It's got a trigger button and a potentiometer that goes left and right to move a little spaceship across the OLED display up the top here. And this circuit uses some power circuitry that I've not seen before, but I thought was really natty and clever, and I'm trying to completely understand how it works. I kind of have a little bit of an idea, but I'm still stymied by one or two features of it, so I wouldn't claim to completely understand it yet. And I thought it would be opportunistic to sort of have a look at it in closer detail and see if we can figure out how it works. To that end, I thought I'd prototype it over here on the bench, and then poke around at it with the multimeters and potentially even the oscilloscope. So let me take you over to the computer and I'll show you the circuit that I'm talking about, and then we'll come over to the bench and we'll make something to investigate it.
All right, so here we are on the computer. Now, this is the circuit from yesterday's game. I'll put a link in the show notes to yesterday's video if you're interested in seeing the construction of the game. The game is called Space Drop, and we're not going to look at the game in this project. We're just going to look here at the power system. On the schematic here, it's got its own section. There's two pins from the microcontroller that are connected. One of them's the button pin, and one of them's a control signal. And the control signal is routed through an optocoupler. Now, the reason for using an optocoupler is when you want to have disparate grounds. So if you use the optocoupler if you don't want common ground, and this whole power thing works by keeping the ground signal and the battery ground signal separate, so that the entire battery, which is shown here, it's 3 AAAs in series, so that the whole battery apparatus, or whatever componentry, can be completely switched off, so that there's no current draw when the power is disconnected. So this opto coupled part of the circuit, that's to turn it off. So if you want to turn the circuit off, you probably put a high voltage on here. It'll turn the internal LED on, which will activate the transistor, which means 5 volts will get connected through here, which I think will disable this. I don't exactly know how it works. Anyway, we're going to ignore this part of the circuit to begin with, and we're just going to try and understand this part of the circuit. So we can ignore everything attached to the optocoupler to begin with, because that's to turn everything off. I want to figure out how to turn everything on. So you've got the circuit ground here, and then you've got the battery ground here. And the job is to connect this ground and this ground, which means that current can flow through the whole system. Then if you disrupt the current to battery ground, then there's no return path for the power anymore, and the whole thing will shut off. And then when it is shut off, if you close this button, then that'll bring that high. So that'll flow in here and through here, and then through there and down there. and that'll turn the transistor on, which will connect ground and battery ground. And I don't understand this little bit here. That'll go through the resistor and it'll come back here and keep the Q1 on. That must be what it's doing. But if this is at ground, how does grounding the base of the transistor keep the transistor on? I would have thought if that's ground, then the transistor will go off and these ground and battery ground will be disconnected. So what must be happening is this is going around here, and once it's started flowing, it'll just keep flowing and keep the transistor on, which will keep the grounds connected, which means that the whole system stays on. And then when you want to shut it down, you just use the optocoupler here and connect it to 5 volts, which obviously resets the signal over here and separates ground and battery ground. So I don't really understand it, but I'm hoping that we can probe this point here and just get an understanding of what signal is coming back into the base of Q1. So we might also wire up a microcontroller for these two signals, the button signal and the control signal. One thing to know about it is that once the power is established, when you use this SW1 button, when you use that to turn the power on, it turns on and then it stays on, and then the button just becomes a switch. You can send as many button clicks as you want, and they'll all come through to the microcontroller pin. So once power is established, it stays established, and the button is then free to be used as an input on the microcontroller. And of course, this control pin that you send that signal to turn the whole thing off again. So what we'll do is we'll build this part of the circuit and we'll have a look at it and just see what's happening between here and the base of Q1, and see if we can understand that. And then we might go further and put the optocoupler in and just see how that can be used to control the power on or off. I'm less interested in this part of the circuit and more interested in this part of the circuit. So let's jump over to the bench and build this thing.
All right, well, here we are on the bench. Now, I'm going to want to emulate the ground and battery ground. So the easiest way to do that is just to use the same sort of batteries as they were using in the project that we did yesterday. So the first job is just to solder on some jumpers to these battery packs. I'm going to put one set female, one set male. So I'll do that with you now quickly. All right, so that's 2 battery holders done. This one I put male jumper pins on, and the other one, which we'll be using today, I put female jumper pins on. So I'll put male pin header on the board here for power in. So I might as well put this circuit together and then I'll show you it once it's all done. All right, so I got myself a transistor here. I've got a box full of 1K resistors. I've got an optocoupler, but I'm not going to install it yet. We might have a look at that later. I'm going to need some of this pin header up the back here, and I'm going to make our circuit. So let's do that together quickly. All right. So I figured it out. Now I understand the circuit. The the optocoupler keeps it on. So I didn't appreciate that. So now I understand the circuit. It's not magical, and it's great. I finally figured it out. So I'll take you over the computer and I'll explain it to you. But before we do that, this pin here on the left, I can zoom in and just give you a look on this circuit board. This pin down here with the red wire on it, that's the control signal, and I've just tied it positive at the moment, so it's high. If I take the control signal away, the LED goes off. Now if I put the control signal back in, nothing happens until I press the switch. And when I press the switch, the circuit will come on and then it will stay on. So I'll press the switch now and the circuit has come on. So and then if I drop the control signal, the circuit goes off. So yes, this absolutely is working, which is just so cool. What I'll do is I'll pop over to the computer with you and I'll just talk you through the circuit now that I understand it better. Let's go and have a look at this computer.
All right, so here we are back on the computer. And the part that I now understand is the 5 volts comes from here and it comes through here and through here, and that's how the whole circuit works. So yes, okay, cool. So the control signal, when it goes down, it cuts off this transistor, which means there's no path to the positive anymore, and that just cuts the whole power out. So control is active high, I think. So that goes on and it keeps the circuit on, and then when it turns off, it closes down the circuit. I guess the first thing that the program will have to do when it powers on is set this high. So yes, cool. All right. Well, is there anything more to talk about or to show you? I don't think so. I'll take you over to the farewell cam. We'll wrap up.
And that's a wrap. So yes, I'm very pleased with this circuit. I understand how it works now. We didn't do any programming with it, but we emulated the programming with the control signal just tied to positive. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching, and please remember to hit like and subscribe.